So today I'm going to do a little bit of grinding, and we're going to have a quick talk about, the link update that's coming to global in like a couple of days, I believe. So I'm just going to be grinding some incredible gems for the other Prime Battle Goku, which I'm not finished yet. So yeah, so I'm just going to be doing that. Anyway, link update. So I wanted to just talk about a few of the main links, or at least some of the more important ones in my own opinion, right? So, I'm pretty sure everyone knows how they work at this point. We have the link leveling up, and basically, it goes from 1 to 10, and they get different buffs depending on what the link is. Like attack down, or not attack down, but like defense down for enemy, crit chance, dodging, extra ki, extra attack and defense, removing HP restrictions on certain things, etc., etc. So I'm pretty sure everyone knows how they work. To level them up, it's pretty simple. You just keep doing events that cost stamina. Like, you can do it while you're grinding incredible gems. You can do it while, I believe, World Tournament should work as well. So that'll be helpful, etc., etc. There's loads of stuff you can do. Just you can't do, if it doesn't cost stamina, it doesn't increase level. So, you can't do easy A's or SPR, Legendary Goku event, etc. But anyway, some of the links I wanted to look at are I have a few here that went from flat boosts to percentages. So the first one I want to talk about was like Messenger from the Future, which went from 500 attack, which is practically zero. It's practically nothing in the grand scheme of things. It's zero, zilch, nada, nothing, to 5%. At level 1, by the way. This is like, I'm not going from their max percentages, because I believe at max it's like 10%, which is pretty good. Now, who's that link going to help out? Mainly more Trunkses, so great. Dokkan loves Trunks, and, just a buff for him, that's good. And Cell. A lot of Cells have Messenger from the Future. So that's really good for Cells, to buff their attack, especially in like LR in Cell, whose attack is pretty underwhelming most of the time. That'll certainly help. Second year I have Saiyan Warrior Race. I think everyone knows about Saiyan Warrior Race, right? Saiyan Warrior Race, it's 700 attack. Again, practically nothing. It's going to 5% at link level 1. 5%? Like, nearly every Saiyan has it. So that's a huge buff to basically every Saiyan. So, not much to say there other than huge buffs for Saiyans. Like they needed it, but Next is also Kamehameha, which is 2,500 attack when Super Attack is launched, and that's going also to 5%. And a bunch of units have that too. Like a lot of the top tier units in the game, like LR Gogeta, LR Vegito, etc., etc. Does LRUI, I think, has it as well? Like, there's loads. LR Intercell actually has it, LR Rose, etc., etc. Like, again, that's a big deal. 5% from practically, again, zero. Like, you can't go wrong with that, really. Next one might be the most impactful. It might be. Possibly. It's Legendary Power, which is going from, once again, like, nothing, right? It's going from, nothing at 5,000 attack to 10% when Super Attack is launched, which is massive. Like, that just buffs LRs. Because, Power Creep's been hitting TURs pretty hard recently. Like, we see that again with Gohan, right? But with that Legendary Power link, that makes me think, are they trying to buff LRs, like, even further? Because they are supposed to be, like, the premium, like, rarity. So, maybe buffing Legendary Power the way they did was to make LRs even more appealing, because they're going to be hitting way harder than a lot of TURs now. Obviously, ones that stack, Cooler, Gohan, etc. We're still going to, catch up eventually. But, Legendary Power will kind of help the LRs reach that next level, I guess. And the last one I have that went from a flat boost to a percentage buff that I think is quite important is More Than Meets the Eye. Now, this isn't a super common link by any means. Like, there's a few units that have it. One of the reason I brought it up was because Kid Buu has it. I know in Kid Buu, for example, has this link, which is big because there's more than likely for the 350 million download celebration we'll be getting a new Kid Buu. That's kind of what I'm saying. Or at least Majin. At least. And that was just 300 attack. Which again is nothing. That's gone to 10%. Like, that's crazy. That's a huge increase. So, you know, if Kid Buu is going to be the best unit in the game and he's like more than meets the eye, that's just going to buff his attack, like, dramatically. And who knows, he might even have Kamehameha. It depends what they want to do with his super attacks. But, yeah, just wanted to throw that one out. And then I have a shorter list of some of the more impactful ones that I think are like, these are very important. I have GT here, right? You know, GT is just, it was just 2 key. Nothing wrong with it, necessarily. It's just 2 key, that's fine. But what they've done is they changed it from 2 key to 2 key and 10% attack and defense, which is really good. Like, that's a huge help for I'd say the GT team, but it doesn't really exist. So, Shadow Dragons, and then wherever you can get your GT characters together. You know, you can do Extreme AGL with, like, an Artificial Life Forms with 17 and Rildo. And obviously the big one is the LR Super Saiyan 4s together. So, giving them an extra 10% attack and defense, can't really go too wrong with that. Not really, no. Next I have Thirst for Conquest, which is on a lot of... Basically, it's the Terrifying Conquerors team. A lot of them have it. You know, there's some that aren't on the category that have it too, but 15% attack and defense, like, that's huge. And obviously one of the top units who has that is, you know, Cooler. SDR Cooler has it. So, like, Cooler never struggled defensively, right? He never did. Like, he couldn't take a super attack, like, the best, but, you know, unless you're stacking defense or having damage reduction, you're not going to anyway. But, you know, that's an extra 15% defense. And the ones I have here I actually am looking at them from their max, by the way. Like, this is them at Link level 10. Because I want to talk about the massive impact they have. Also, I love how to use a TUR Broly here. Or not even a TUR, I'm sorry, just an SSR Broly, but it's fine, I guess. No big deal. Anyway, and next link I have is another cooler link, is Metamorphosis. Like, 5% HP return, which is good. But also attack and defense, 5%, which is big. That's big. Because that's just more, like, attack and defense for Cooler. And who else has that? Like, Janemba has it, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah, you know, like, that's when people say, hey, Janemba has one of the best villain link sets in the game. They're serious. He really, really does. And then the last one is obviously enough Big Bad Bosses, which is... It's just the best link in the game now. That's what it is. It's the best. Why is it the best? Because it was already probably the best with 25% attack and defense when your HP was 80% or below, which, you know, I think was a fair restriction, personally. I think that's fine. But now it's just 25% attack and defense, no HP restriction, which makes it incredibly powerful. It buffs villains dramatically, basically, is what happened there. Villains are, like, way better now, which is really good, because I actually really enjoy running villain teams. I think villains are a lot more fun than the heroes, personally. That's just my take. But, yeah, so, like, making Big Bad Bosses as good as it is now is just great. It's just great for everyone involved. It really is. Now, what units should you be leveling up straight away? Like, to be honest, it's kind of up to you. Whatever you want to level up, just do it. Just do it, you know? But if I was to make some recommendations, I would personally choose villain units first. Maybe villain support units as well. And supports in general. Because support units are going to be on, like, every team. Right? Because most of the time you're not going to run a team unless it has at least one support there somewhere. Somewhere or other. I know that's the way I like to run anyway. At least 1 or 2 support units. But with this, you could look at someone like, you know, West Kai, who's got an awakening on JP. That'd be a good choice. God Topo is a good choice to start leveling up. Plus with God Topo and even West Kai, they're on a bunch of really good teams. So I think supports that have a bunch of teams, or just characters have a bunch of teams, like LR Gohan, who's on like 13 teams, I think. Like, it's something crazy like that. He's on an immense amount of teams. So someone like him would be a good choice. Or just, Big Bad Boss's units. Like Bojack. Because Bojack, one, he got a huge increase. Like, all of his links got, massive buffs. So that's really good for Bojack. So, and whenever we get a Dokkan Fest Bojack, that'll work really well. I know people have been saying that for ages, but when it comes, which it will, it's going to be great. Absolutely. So, but basically, Big Bad Bosses, it's like Turles, that I'm using right here. He's a really good example. Because again, Big Bad Bosses, huge support. Yeah, Physical Kid Boo is probably a good choice, other than the fact he might be replaced during the 5-year. The download celebration. Apologies. He might be replaced. It all depends. We'll see. But they're kind of my recommendations for link leveling. Guys with a bunch of teams, support units, or Big Bad Bosses units. That's kind of what I'm looking at. And say, yeah, this is probably the type of unit you want to be leveling up. And then after that, I'd say just do whatever you want. I'm probably going to do Realm of Gods first. My Realm of Gods team, which is led by Zamasu. So, Zamasu, Blue Fusions, West Kai, etc. Gwasan Zamasu, that type of thing. That's probably what I'll be doing. But again, do what you like when it comes to the link update. So, that'll be coming in 2 to 3, even 4 days, I believe. Because at the time of recording, today's the 7th. So, it should come in the next 3 to 4 days, I believe. But, that's it. And I'll talk to you soon.